Dang it. Okay, should
It's
we make
okay.
Lori show that again really quick so then I can just be like, watch this.
Yes, let's
Okay.
do that.
Yes. Okay, so Lori showed us how when a board gets shared with us, we can make it our own. Because if you try, if when they share it, you can't edit it or it's doing it to theirs. But she's gonna tell us again how to make it our own. Go for it, Lori.
Okay. So once you get the link, so right now I'm looking in our messenger thread, and so Danielle shared where it says the URL boards, and then there's the number new consultant phase 1. Click on that link, and it'll go to the board. So you'll see where it says open in app on the top right, that little blue link. So open in app. Once you open it up, then you're going to have an option down at the bottom to save to my boards. Now, I automatically do that anyway, just so that I have it. But then what you can do is you go in where it says that you're in there, new consultant phase 1, and there's a little gray button at the top right that says select. And then on the left, it says select all. And then it should highlight all those items in there. Down at the bottom, there's move, copy, and delete. So you want to hit the copy button. Then you want to go up to the top where your arrow is at the very top left, go back out of that, back again, and then you're in your own boards that are there. Scroll all the way to the bottom of those boards that you currently have, and there's a blue link that says create board. Then you want to add board name, and this is where you choose what you're doing. If you're doing onboarding, if you're doing whatever, you create that. Click the check mark, the blue check mark button at the top right. And once you do that, then you go down to the bottom and it should say, oops, hang on a minute. Let me see. There we go. And then down at the bottom, it should say paste here. It's a blue link that says paste here on the bottom right. Click paste here. And now, ta-da, you have just moved that entire bit of information into your very own board. And it is not going to save anything. Any changes that you want to make, you can do it there, as opposed to doing it on the original.
Thank you, girl.
I know, I'm so excited now. Whew, that was totally made this whole call worth it. Yes, just stop right now.
Right? We're done.
Yay, I'm so excited. I actually had something to contribute. I feel great.
Thank you, Lori. That was awesome. Okay.
All right.
Do you want to hear what I have on my freshman list from like ages ago for the rest of
Please
stuff?
do. I have been looking for a new freshman list.
Okay. Yes, so was that on your that Google Doc you shared us with us?
I'd taken it from there, but I had made, so when I made these a few years ago, I had taken up like a bazillion people were doing the whole freshman blah 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 thing, right? And so I had taken just like a ton of documents and picked them apart and made these. So it doesn't mean don't look at them. But this is what I had come up with. So this is no particular order either. This is just stuff that I originally thought they should have in their first 30 days. Go, Lori.
All right, hang on just a second. So one of my things I was going to mention about that, because used to we had 120 days. We had 4 months that they had to deal with. So that's why the freshman, sophomore, junior, senior thing worked. So now I think that our original freshman list needs to be that first week.
Quick start.
So the original freshman, yes, needs to be.
If you're doing those names, I agree.
Right.
So and then we would finish sophomore for the rest of the first 90 days, 30 days. Correct. And then
I agree.
The second 30 sophomore.
I agree.
Junior, senior. Okay.
Yep.
Yes.
We can totally
I might use those, but I think I'm going to do jewels anyways. My team is Dazzling Diamonds, so I'm going to work like emerald, which is the order? Emerald, sapphire, ruby, diamond.
Diamond. Yes, I think that's right. That's a great idea.
I don't think something fun to go with I mean, I could still do the freshman too, but I agree, Lori, that we don't want to do the 120 days. We want to align it more with the AMP. And then after the AMP, then it's just like more for your business or whatever you call your shoot for the moon or whatever you do, right? Like it's something else of like
aim really for title changes.
A lead on repeat because they're already in the lead. I mean, whatever, you know.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes. Thank you for that, Lori. Good thinking. Okay. So here's some of the things I had. So the WOW party was on here because it's old, but I don't want to forget that. So like I took you that's what I was saying earlier. So what I have so far takes them to the party. It's time to invite. So whether they're doing home, Facebook, or scroll or combo or whatever, I made those 3 different little folders or whatever the heck they're called. So they would do the party. So this isn't necessarily a daily task, but that was a reminder to myself. I want to make sure I didn't forget. Their business page, their banner, showing them how to do their own business page or group, customer group. Some people I know party in there already, but if you haven't, hostess packets, both at this point now, we would want to do digital or sending, right? Like you want to show them both, you know. Are there new consultant webinars still? I don't even pay attention. And do you guys send your people to that? Like, what's your opinion on that? Because I never have either.
I know they have one recorded.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
You do?
I know that there's a what is it called? The how-to guide? It's a how-to guide that they're doing. How-to guide live is, I think, their start off kind of thing. And your girl here has not had anybody who wanted to do anything that I could take to the how-to guide up to this point. And so now I have 2. So I've got to get on my P's and Q's and really be ready to, and I'm going to attend it with them.
How often do they do them?
I don't know if it's once a month
so
or it's
bad.
like every couple of weeks.
They're doing them in the pink bubble now. And this says, join us in the pink bubble at 9 a.m.
Okay.
So
no, not going to work for people who have a
realist. So it looks like they're only doing it on the first.
So once a month then.
So but it's going to stay in the pink bubble. So all you have to do is copy that link.
Well, what if we were showing them the pink bubble? Because that's part of something that they got to get to eventually anyways.
Right.
And showing them the pink bubble, we're making sure that they know this new consultant, whatever they're.
Well, honestly, I feel like I've been trying to do what we talked about anyways, where I'm just touching base with them every day and saying, hey, since we worked on this yesterday, let's tackle this today. Yep. And just giving them like those little things to do. And so the consultant webinar hasn't even been on my radar as something that I'm having them work for. I asked them to get into the pink bubble, but that's about as far as it goes. And it's not even like the first place I send them. Like we're in like 2 weeks of our journey before I'm like, oh, make sure you're in this group.
Yeah, I don't do it right away either. That would not be on the top of my list. Just like I held off on the team pages for a little bit. Like the more groups are in, the more confusing. They'll see it eventually in a training I do too. So like every month's training for the month, I always give the updates on what's in the pink bubble. So they'll find it eventually too. I'm not super worried about that one because it's just one more overwhelming thing.
Right. Okay. I agree.
The thing I had was party presentation, which obviously is more for home parties, but I think what would match that is like some tips on going live, like just live in general, right? Like not only your setup, but just things to think about. Like hopefully you've gotten them to just do it wild with their kit, and and I don't give them any directions. I don't make them nervous on that personally. I just let them do their thing, but they're going to need tips eventually, right? To be more successful with it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yes.
There used to be a good thing for vocabulary. Does anybody know, is that still on TOT? And basically it's for all the acronyms and PICAs and all the stuff.
It's in the how-to guide.
Okay.
There also, and I will have to go back and look, I have not printed an updated version. I use Robin Hall, Chicory Cottage. She does a welcome guide for me. And there is a page in there that has all the lingo in it, all of the vocabulary stuff.
What's she charging these days?
Well, it only cost me $10 because every time it's a new catalog changeover, it's only $10 to renew.
Yep.
I haven't. Yeah.
And then at one point she got a little goofy and she wasn't sending them to us at the right time. And so then I quit, and then I just quit doing them completely. But
she had some family issues and some sickness. She had some health problems, I think, really there for a while.
Okay, so good. So basically just we're pointing them to that. I mean, it's still something to make sure that they've looked at it and tell them to come back and tell us 3 things they learned or something. I don't know.
What's the funniest acronym?
Yeah, right.
So question, so the things that you're reading off, are we trying to put those into, are we trying to divide that out into
or your next phase? This would be
have to be sophomore, right? Yeah.
This would be to finish the 30 days. The
second 30 days. Yep.
Right.
And then we're
Lord
gonna
have
do
mercy.
day 31 as a celebration day
Celebration.
of how far they got in their first 30 days. So 31 days is gonna be a day of rest and celebration. And then
Yep.
we're gonna jump in for the next 60 days.
So I may have more than you need. You
So
may have to do a
smart.
couple a day. You may have to eliminate. I don't know. I'm just telling you what this is just what I have. Plus, you may look at Nicole's board. Like, make sure you go look there too and find something that different that you want to do.
Well, and she had some stuff in there that I would probably not do on my first 30 days, but it would be
Yep.
really good for the 60 to 90 days.
Well,
Like,
I have all of those. I've got my freshman, senior. I've got all the way to senior. So yes, and I agree. Some of it you want to wait. Some of it I don't want to overwhelm. Eventually, I want it living somewhere that they can look at it, like we talked about, so that those eager beavers can, start looking. But I
Right.
don't want it to be the messages I'm sending that they're trying to do.
yeah.
Okay. I have on here navigating the back office and the search engine. So probably making some type of screencast-o-matic video or something that shows them more, just in case, they haven't played around enough. Like right now, I've just sent them to new consultants. Hopefully they've played, but most of them haven't. So trying to just kind of do something there. Subscriptions, how to set up subscriptions. Has anybody seen graphics for those lately? Because that's the easiest for those. If not, I can do a video.
So subscriptions, what subscriptions do we even have now? Is it
We
all?
don't.
Yeah,
So I was
it's
gonna say,
only
we don't even have subscriptions anymore,
the only-
right? Because it's all one thing.
Because it was the monthly flyers was what the
Mhm.
Yeah,
subscription
I
was.
would probably say subscriptions for like after the 90 days in case,
Yep.
like here's what you do if your card gets declined.
Mhm.
Because that is an important thing that we get asked a lot, but it's probably not something they're going to encounter in their first time.
It used to be like
Yeah.
you said, the flyers. That's why it's on there. That's how old this is. So, yep.
Danielle, another idea that just popped in my head as far as instead of doing videos, you could also just do, your voice recorder app that you do.
Yes.
That might be better because sometimes if I see a video, I'm like, oh, I don't want to watch a video.
Yeah, no, I
But I would
Right.
listen to a voice message as long as it wasn't
I want to
super
do a mix for sure, as usual. I want to do a mix thing. I agree. Good reminder, though. I agree. Because, like you said, sometimes you get sick of seeing videos. Okay, so for me, I have on here. I don't use business cards. I'm a mini catalog fan for your business card with your
Yes.
Avery labels. So, like teaching them that, basically teaching them to have a little goodie with it is always fun. If you go to the they don't have to, but I think I have a video on it still from before. Even the little goodie bag. Go to the dollar store.
Yeah.
Chapsticks, candy, something else with your name on it if you can, even if you just slapped a label on it, something that they can keep besides the mini catalog was always I used it for parties and events and in your purse and all that stuff.
This is also where I talk to my new girls about you never, ever, ever, ever order product from your back office unless you have the free money that you're going to earn by sponsoring and promoting. Otherwise, you never, ever, ever do that.
Yep.
And that's something that I've had, no matter how many times I say it, I still have somebody that comes back and doesn't understand that. So I'd probably put that in there somewhere too.
Yep, I'm going to add it.
All right, question. Since we're talking about, we're really pushing them to get to elite and getting them started with the recruiting mindset right off the bat, in this sophomore list, are we wanting to add any information in there about recruiting and possibly a recruiting packet? Because we're giving him a host packet. Do we want to talk to him about recruiting?
It's on my list. Yep.
Yeah, I think we need their career path in there. Yep. I know that was one of the things that really motivated me. Like 2 weeks in, I was already looking at that career path because I was already talking to hostesses because they saw my kit and I was like, this is amazing. The other cool tip to give them too, we could kind of slip in there somewhere that really works for new consultants, is to put colored ribbons on their kit versus the ones they're earning for free. Do the different colored ribbons, because then, because then they get asked questions and it's a great
party presentation. Do that when you have it go live, because that's where it's important that you have it right there on your on your thing. Mine are just big red tags, and then I have on there that I earned it through this. It's also in the kit. Like I do the kit ones too, so that I'm always saying that this is in the kit. Yes, good thinking. I'm going to add that to the party presentation, the live. Yeah, I had recruiting on here for sure because I've already been talking to him about it in the quick start guide. I already did it there, so absolutely, I want career path. Nicole had really good stuff with career path too, by the way. If you guys
I was just looking at hers.
Yep.
Yeah, I tried to go back and look at some of that too,
I
trying
can't find
to
her board.
filter
I
through.
scrolled earlier and couldn't find it.
So this is still going to be
So,
the end of this month, but I have, so I have a team file set up in Google, in Google Drive, Google what would you call that? Yeah, Google Drive, right?
Mhm.
Mhm.
And then I also have, the most outdated, but there's still some good stuff. Website still, team website that I pay for, like the $20 a month, a year, or whatever the heck it is. It's got a bunch of games on it though, and the pinned post, and the importance of the pinned post on the team page. So getting them to fish for more things basically. And the pin post has like all the graphics groups and yada, yada, yada. In that same pin post has how to enter orders and business supplies and like extra things that they might not have had to do yet. Do you think we need a different one for that? Or do you think that would all just go together? I know,
I
I'm
don't know.
torn.
All right, say again what you have in that list of the things that
So
you
it's
want to
three
put.
things. I have a team file site
Uh-huh.
that they can see all kinds of files for everything under the sun. I also have a team webpage, which has really outdated blogs, but it does have a bunch of files in there again. Like all the games are in one nice spot, especially for home parties. And then the pin post in the Facebook group, in the team group, I can't talk. And the pin post has all of those things. So depending on how many tasks we come up with, maybe I'll just base it on that. And like one day I could be like, go to the pin post and look through the files, and another
Yeah.
day pin post
I
and
think that would be it, because if they're going to so many different places, that's the
yeah,
only thing that
just
gets
show
so
them the pin
confusing.
post. No, I agree. That's
Mhm.
this was the question for me, because it has all the videos too, like how to enter an order, how to enter a retail order, how to
Yeah.
enter a business supply order, like all of that is in there. And then it's got the graphics groups. Like it's long. Maybe if there's an extra day, I would show them, and then maybe like if there's an extra day later, I would ask them to tell me something from it to like remind them that
Oh
it's there.
yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, I don't have a pin post like that anymore because we tried to do that like 18 months, 2 years ago. And it was when Facebook was being really funky with those kind of external links, and they kept marking it as spam.
Yep.
And we could not figure out how to make it not do that. So we kind of just gave up on it. So I don't even have a pinned post like that. I basically right now, because it's just 2 or 3 new consultants a month, or 1 or 2 a month, I'm basically just telling them, walking them through that stuff on my own.
Yeah. But if that's what I'm sitting here trying to decide, is it going to be worth it time wise to go ahead now, while we're only having small amounts of consultants coming in, to create that pinned post and create that, to get it ready for all of that, so that if we do have a high influx of recruits or team members. So that's my other thing is, are you sending your entire lineage, like your entire downline? Are you allowing your own, your already team recruits to use this information for their onboarding as well?
So right now I've just given it to my directors. My future leaders, I'm still triangulating them. We're still doing a group, a 3-way message in Messenger with whoever they recruit. They know that I've got a new system. They've seen my old system. So I've told them I have a new system. I will give it to them and I will, do the whole, I show you, I watch you, you fly like a bird, blah, blah,
Right.
blah. But no, otherwise my lineage directors are in charge of their own. They'll do what you guys do, right? They'll just make it their own. And I'm doing my entire team, but not my lineage. So yeah, I have a ton. So that's why I definitely got to have a pin post. Like I've got like, I'm onboarding like close to 20 right now. If all goes well. So, I know Kane does too. So that's what the pin post has helped me, but I do remember what you're talking about. Like I was afraid of links. I think mine was because it was already there and it didn't do anything weird and I never was touching it. So knock on wood, that's okay for me still. I do have a graphic. I don't know if that makes a difference. I don't think it ever used to, but like I have a picture plus all the links. I don't
Well,
know.
Are your videos something that you could share with us?
Yeah, I can show
For
you. I was just gonna tell you guys, I can copy and paste the whole pin post. Just I won't pop it in the GoPro though, because that would be annoying. Like, just remind me after, I'll send it to you guys personally. Some of the videos are outdated though. Like I'm sure I need it. Some of them probably look like old TOT, and I know people fuddle their way through it, but there are some videos I probably need to redo. But if nothing else, you'll see all the ideas too. I mean, you'll just see what I have.
that's what I'm thinking. It'll just give me an idea. I'm fine creating a video as long as I kind of have a direction that I'm heading in.
If they work and it's just my voice, who cares? I mean, do what you want to do there too.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
have your office space and mobile office. I don't know how important those are anymore. What are you guys' thoughts on that too? Is that just old?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
think
probably
so.
wouldn't prioritize that.
That's sad. Makes me sad, but like I get it.
I know that was a lot of work, wasn't it?
Mhm.
I'm in 900 square feet. I'm meeting with y'all in my bedroom. I have no workspace.
Mm-hmm.
So
And you understand that.
So the goal that I had given them during the quick start was to book 3 parties like we always do. So
Yeah.
towards the end of this, we're trying to get them, I'm trying to get 4 parties for their second month. So we're still in that first month and we're trying to get them to make sure they have, because hopefully if all goes well, they have them this month. I know it's different if they join at the end of the month, but that's kind of how that's on there, if that makes sense. So
Yeah, I think
give
we
me
do
some
need to get them
ideas.
thinking about parties for the next 30 days, and the first 30 days.
Yep. So I don't talk about when they need to be when they first join. I just say as soon as you can with your schedule, but then later now within the, so that was when they first joined, right? Within their quick start and their launch party. But then now I want to be like, all right, let's try to get 4 parties, whatever their number looks like. Like if it's a different number, like I like to say 4 is just like your average consultant, but, okay, so go live with kids is on here and I'm doing that during their launch. I'm trying to get them to do that. That's already on there.
What about connected contacts?
Yeah,
And
that's
hitting
my
on
next
that
one. You got it. I was
specifically.
just trying to read my handwriting. Said connect contact and connect sophomore. Yep, connected contacts. And what's this business? Oh, I had made a note on here that the business update in the back office. I'm gonna just point that to my navigate the back office search engine. I didn't say that earlier, but that is an important one, the business update. That's the career path. That's everything I have on here. And I don't know how many was that. Can anybody count? Because my paper's a mess. I can't count mine.
Oh my gosh, it's a lot.
I just
So
did
let's
12.
see. 1, 2, 3,
I have a
4,
12.
5, 6,
Oh,
7,
that's not
8,
bad then. We did good.
9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I've got 13 listed here,
That's
but I may have
perfect then,
broken
because
down
we can
something.
still add
Yeah.
in, like we were talking about, we can still add in just some nice, oh, I know another one they need. They need boards.
Yes, 100%.
Words at the
I was
beginning.
just-
And they need a board that gives them a bunch of engagement posts. So they need a
Mhm.
board, they need
Yes.
engagement posts, they need Facebook scheduler. Because I'm not doing
Yes.
what Nicole does yet. I love that what she's doing, but I'm not. Where she's like giving them all the stuff and they're doing their own launch. I'm still doing their own launch, so I got to teach them how to do
Yes.
things. Okay.
I feel more
I'm
comfortable
sorry.
doing somebody's launch unless I have somebody that's coming in that is literally on fire and a go-getter and they're like, no, I got this. And I'm like, girl, you shall do. You might teach me something. Unless that's the person that I've got coming on the team, I'm going to do their launch for them because I need them to actually do it and I need them to actually qualify.
Yep.
And
Well,
I'm afraid if I don't go ahead and do that for them, then they're going to sit there and stagnate. And we don't want that to happen. We want them to move forward quickly.
I even have one girl that's like on fire right now. I didn't recruit her. She's recruited under someone else. But she is just she's a little like Danielle, and she's got some ADD going on, and she's like jumping around from thing to thing to thing to thing. And and
Not Danielle, no.
and so even then, like me to just be able to do this for her and show her just a little bit of focus of this is what it looks like. I do want to put in this board, my 1 day, 1 hour party that I do to get and I want them to do the schedule like Nicole has, but I want it only for reference purposes, for them to be able to say, oh, here's what she's doing, and like to kind of know where I'm going and then see it played out in action. I never had anybody do that for me when I first started, and I know that it affected my parties because I tracked it, and I tracked my repeat hostesses that came the next year. And not only did I host, like their sales were better in their party, which means they got more rewards. I even had people telling me, you got way better at this. And so if I would have had somebody showing me more at the beginning, or at least like pointing me in the right direction, rather than me just kind of stumbling through it and figuring it out on my own, I think I could have been even better at the beginning than I was.
So hang on. So you're talking about whenever you're talking about putting your party, you're not talking about doing it as, okay, I'm confused about what we're talking about here.
Well, so how Danielle has on her board, she has under new consultant phase 1, she has like invite to the Facebook party on her board.
Yes.
In there, I
Yes.
also want to put like part of mine is going to be, here is my Facebook party, here's the posts, here's the graphics that go with each one. And then one of the posts is also going to be, here's the schedule that I post these posts on, so that they're getting an idea. I'm still going to run it, but right now, all that kind of information is just in a Facebook group that I set up every month, every catalog, and I invite my team to. And if I put it on there, I think it's going to be more clear info, and it's going to give it to my new consultants in a lot clearer, compact, this makes more sense kind of fashion. I'm still going to do it for them, but I want them to be able to track and follow along a little bit better.
I
Okay,
think
that's
it
what you're
would be
saying.
more confusing to have that in boards than have it in a Facebook group, personally, because of the way boards works, where you can't see all the wording, and then you've got a picture here, wording here, picture here, wording here. I think you would be better off to get them a free subscription to SenseShare and do that, or add them to.
I don't use SenseShare. I don't do
more than
Post My
add them
Party.
to the group.
I use the Facebook schedule for everything, because I still do it that way. I don't use any of those paid
What
ones.
if you had it all just in a group that they could just grab it from instead?
Well, I do have it in a Facebook group right now. I have it in a group and I have them in order, and it's just like Terry Childers. It looks just like hers, only mine's backwards. So mine starts at the bottom instead of like Terry starts at the top and moves down. Mine starts at the bottom and moves up. But I have everything there. But the problem is I don't have a post that shows them like how to schedule it, and I don't have a post that shows them how to do the live. And Nicole did her script, like her opportunity scripts she's done in boards, and it was so easy to copy and follow along with when she shared it with me. And I was thinking, if anybody else thinks the same way I do, like this might be more clear. And I maybe don't have to do the post. I could do just a link to like, here's the group, but I do think it would be helpful to have like some kind of like schedule in there, because that's not always in my Facebook group really clear. Like you have to kind of come to a party and figure it out.
Maybe I have missed seeing Nicole's. I was going back because Nicole's stuff is not in my boards. I was looking to try to look at hers.
Hers has pink hearts in front of it, and it says new consultants start here.
But that doesn't have her opportunity scripts in it.
It has her launch party scripts in it, but not the opportunity. The opportunities are separate. The opportunities are called Disney January. It has a castle. Boss Babe January. It's got kissy face lips, kissy like a lip.
See, I don't have those. Then that's what I was trying to look and see. New consultants. Okay, so here's the new consultants start here. Okay, I did not have that saved to my boards, so that's why I couldn't see it.
Nicole has that I think go in sophomore are impact and email and gift card.
I really liked the emails, but I wasn't sure if that was like a first 30 days thing, just because a lot of them aren't going to have a lot of emails back there to share yet.
Emails, maybe not, but gift cards. So I would do gift cards, I think, in this one, and then maybe emails in the junior.
I think emails definitely need to go there, because our ladies don't know how to do emails. They don't know how to do the links. They don't know how to add the graphic. And I think that's something.
Okay, so keep it both.
No, I would do the emails in the second 30 days and include some of those other things, and do the gift cards in the first.
Okay.
So we're talking about, putting the emails into the junior category, junior month.
Mhm.
And it's both. So it'll be how to send an email and it'll be the email activity report. And like
Yes.
Okay.
utilizing it. Because that'll go with
Okay.
follow too. Because I know I have follow-up coming up.
Okay, so somewhere in sophomore, definitely not in freshman because that's quick start. Somewhere in sophomore, we're going to have to talk to them about getting their contacts over into home office. I mean, into their virtual office, because if they don't do that, they won't have an email activity report by the time we get to it.
So not just the people that ordered, you mean, trying to get more contacts.
Right, like to put their contacts in there. I mean, like adding contacts or like importing their own email lists.
Yep. And then also, just so you guys know, her expectations, I know we're all going to want to do our own thing, but her expectation board within her new consultant thing has some really cool quotes and stuff too. If you're looking for inspiration, if you're wanting to like add, like we were talking about, some of the feel good stuff throughout, right? Like as we're doing things.
Oh yeah, I like this.
Because I know one of the things I have in my launch, in my consultant launch, which I haven't touched that board yet, in the Facebook one, is I have a video about being overwhelmed. And like there's a spot that I always know that I start to lose them a little bit within their launch. And so I have a video about talking about how like I bet you're overwhelmed. We all have been like that whole thing. So that's it. That's just so you guys know, because that's not on the board that I've done yet. And I think that's an important key of the launch party. Because it starts to become like, oh my gosh, all this stuff. I can send it to you guys if you want. It's literally like a picture, like pulling my hair. and they all watch it and go, okay. A lot of times they'll go, okay, phew, I am. And I'm like, yep, I promise. We've all been overwhelmed. Like there's so many things, just stay with me, type of thing. Trying to think of anything like that we would need somewhere or something similar. I see Kane shaking your head. Can you think of anything else like that, you guys? That's like more personal rather than just all this do, something that we'd be forgetting.
Well, I think we were going to do some, I don't know if this is what you're looking for, but we were going to put in some of those Instagram video things too, get them watching a couple of them so that then in the second 60 days when we were saying, hey, maybe you should just work on creating your first reel, they kind of knew what we were going for.
So I'm just going to write down, for me, I'm going to do Justin Prince.
Yes, that's the name I was thinking of. I just couldn't remember his name. I was thinking we shared one.
I might find.
Are we putting that in sophomore?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I think something at least, and just mentioning like I really love listening to him. He just inspires me. He's got a lot about your presence in social media and inspiration. I think I'm going to do John Maxwell, but I'll have to dig because I don't want it to be scary leadership. And he has a lot on leadership, but he has good stuff too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say there's got to be something though, if I dig, that's just like good, but then they realize like that's what he is. He's a leader's leader, right? And so then it may be
what if we save John Maxwell for the junior? Because if we're talking to them, because Justin Prince is going to fire them up. And so then
we did the career path already. Yep.
Correct. And that way we're moving like to the next stage if we go to,
Yep.
Well, and originally I think we were thinking of doing those kind of feel good, happy, like there's nothing really to do today other than just watch this video. We were thinking of doing that like once a week.
Yep.
Just so that then if they needed like a catch up day, they would have a catch up day too.
Yep.
I like that.
Yep.
I think it's important. Go ahead. I think it's important to build in some of that downtime, for sure, because, like you said, the overwhelm kicks in and then the shutdown kicks in, so we want them to stay active beyond their launch party and all that. So, I mean, yes, we want them to peak, of course, for trip points and all that, but the whole point is them remaining on your team. We don't want to just be that that kind of turnover. I know like there's a local business in our area and the guy is so demanding. You know, it's a restaurant. We've been in there and just seen how he treats his employees. Well, if we go again in another month, there's a whole new staff there, you know, because he's not going to retain those people because he is so ridiculously demanding, you know, to the point that he just is like a constant funnel. I'm like, well, you're just, I mean, all to me, and this is one thing that I guess it was from Rory Vodden, the guy that was our guest speaker, you know, like
I love Rory Vaden. He's amazing.
the productivity for people, like when we've taken this time that we're even doing right now and we want to calculate that in investment dollars and what we're investing in our new consultants, you know, we obviously want that to be a good investment. And so I agree with all your, you know, our lists. Like we want to have these lists so as not to cause burnout and overwhelm for sure. Because, you know, when we've invested all this time, effort, energy, if we convert that to dollar amount, that's a lot of money, you know, but we also want people to be productive once they're there. And so I think he was talking about how productivity like cost businesses a bajillion dollars, you know, because people are not doing anything. And so giving them these lists, you know, or giving us these things to help them makes a big difference. That's why, like, I have a new consultant checklist. I do everything on paper in my own little notebook just because it's easier. I know I'm looking at mine right now. I actually printed my new consultant checklist in green because I was like, I want it to mean money, you know.
That was what I wanted to talk about.
So I'll turn my camera right here. You can kind of see it right here in my.
Nice.
This is why I have to keep muting and craziness because look at my dog. He is like causing so much trouble today. But anyway, I dropped something. Hang on. But anyway, you know, I use this. It's very simple. I mean, like, I love our, you know, the freshman, sophomore. I know we've had those before and I've used those before. But when I've been adding these new consultants to my team and, you know, with these, what are they called? Our codes, ticket codes or whatever they are. I decided to kind of do something that was a little less chaotic for them and for me. And so I do a project broadcast texting thing because everybody texts now. You know, it's very rare that you don't hear back from somebody that you text. And I ask them to text so that way they'll have to reply back. You know, I hate when and this happens all the time. I text my team through project broadcast and it's cricket. I'm like, seriously, like you open this text message and you don't reply. Like I would never do that to somebody, but we have people who do that, you know, and we have customers and people who do that too. Like you text about a party and hear nothing, but anyway, I still do that beat the box, you know, and it's just like 7 days of things to do. And I tell them up front, you know, look, these first 7 days are crucial just because you don't have that kit to distract you yet, you know. And so we kind of go through that. But then I do go ahead and add them to our team page just because I do post in there every day. I don't tell them anything about Pink Bubble yet because that's just too many. This is if they're even on Facebook. You know, I have some people who are not Facebookers, which does make it harder. But that's one reason why I like Project Broadcast because they're still getting some information from me that's not on social media, you know, for sure. But and my most recent update to my Beat the Box, actually, I changed one of my text messages to schedule their launch party the following Tuesday or Thursday. Like when they get their welcome text from me, the next text they get says, oh, by the way, we need to have your launch Tuesday or Thursday. Which one works for you? Like I don't really give them that option, you know, because I do that for them. Like, I mean, I go on their page, but I mean, I tell them to create a VIP group first, you know, after I tell them, oh, by the way, we're partying next week. But I do ask them to go ahead and create a VIP group and add me. And so that way we have all of that set up. And then their only job really between the time they get that text and get that Facebook group set up is just to invite people there. I don't even want them really doing hardly anything else, you know. And so then it becomes like a hostess coaching thing. I basically just coach them as a hostess first, before we even talk about some of this other team stuff, you know. Because that's really what they are first. They are a first hostess, you know, they need to be a host first. Even if they just hosted their party and they joined, I still want them to do this right away because now they're the ones earning from it. So anyway, I hope that kind of ties into, you know, what I've been crazily distracted by a husband and a son and a whole house full of guys that just came in, and then my dogs are going berserk because people are coming in my house. And so I've been trying to follow along, but I wanted to make sure to contribute something here. But I do in my checklist, I actually I email them, which I love your idea, Danielle, about the Google Drive to share, because now that really makes more sense. If I put like, I want my hostess letter there.
Yep.
I went back and looked at like really old stuff because I've been doing this now 16 years. And so I went back and looked at some really old stuff. And one thing that was in there was a letter to your friends and family about your business that you're starting that. And so
That's fun.
I actually found my letter that I used. And so I put that on my list, you know, to share that, even though it's kind of retro. Some people
Doesn't love that type of mail still though. Like that's fun.
Yeah. I mean, people like to get, you know, something in the mail. And so, and I do a few postcards when they first get started too. They get a welcome postcard. And then I also do a national conference invitation. That's a postcard mailer as well. And so I've actually got to do mine because I was kind of waiting on this calendar year before I started sending that out. But because I will send that invite to everybody on my team at the same time for the first time, you know. And then after that, it'll be something I have to keep up with new consultants. And so I do that. And then I just kind of made this little checklist and everything kind of goes down. But I do also send a team member survey. And I do that through Google as well. And I do ask them, you know, would you like to promote? I mean, basically, like, how much money do you need to make? So I kind of make it all about the money. I mean, I know that my survey is more geared toward the money than anything. And so then when they fill out their survey and I call them, because I like to do that, I call them and then I say, you know, I'm looking at your dollar amount you really want to make. This is how we get you there, you know. And like I had a lady, she used to be a consultant, but it was like 9 years ago, who is getting ready to rejoin. And I said, well, how much money do you need to make? You know, and she said, well, I really need to make $600 a month. And I said, okay, well, we can do that, you know, and I explained her how to. And then she said, well, when I was in before, the most I'd ever made was $300 a month. And I said, well, how many parties were you having? And she was like, one, you know. And I said, well, that explains it, you know. And so anyway, we kind of talked about that a little bit more, about what that looks like, you know, and how, and I even told her, you know, because even though she was in the business 9 years ago, the face of this kind of business looks nothing like it did 9 years ago.
No,
And I said,
it sure does not.
Yes. I said, I'm gonna have to help you work on your mindset and throw away all those old ideals about, you know, our kind of business. I said, we have a whole new mindset now. And so anyway, you know, the more we talked about that, I felt like if we started with the money, I mean, it made a big difference. Because the rest of it, you know, the sisterhood part and the product part, that all comes after you are doing the parties to make the money, you know. So anyway, I just kind of felt like that was a big deal. But I want to invite them to conference pretty early on. But like I'm trying to think, October, I think we did a little workshop on our Facebook group about making your money jar, you know, for conference, and like putting your $25 in a week or whatever. or ever how much you can put in a week. And we broke down how much conference cost and like what you would want extra money for and stuff like that. And so, anyway, you know, it might not be a bad idea to go ahead and do another one because we have a whole new influx of new consultants too, you know, on how to save for conference. And Lori, I think you said you use Chicory Cottage. I do too. So she does my welcome guide, which I'm sure looks just like yours with a few different pictures.
Yeah.
And so I really like having that. And I used to print those and mail them to my new team members, but I don't anymore because because they are like $21 to print them.
Yes, they sure are.
So it's so expensive to do color copies, which is insane. And I'm like, I mean, I know that's an investment, and it was one that I used to be willing to make when it wasn't as much. Because I would buy a folder, I'd put it in there, and then, you know, but I didn't see any difference from that. So it really wasn't worth the investment anymore. So,
So you kind of answered one of my questions, sort of, but I want to talk about it. Is I wanted to talk about the phone call. So you do your survey, and then you basically go over the survey kind of with their call.
yeah.
I was leaning towards that too. That's what I was trying to kind of. I'm being total transparent. I hadn't been doing phone calls in years again. Like I just hadn't been. And I used to meet in person at the coffee shop and all the things, right? And I was trying to kind of in my mind process, like, what does this phone call look like these days? So I like that. I like that you have their answers in front of you, and then you're just reviewing and helping, like, okay, money wise, here's how many parties, and then you can kind of throw in those seeds for recruiting and all stuff too. So, and getting to know family, you know, if you ask those types of questions too, tell me about your kids or your significant other or whatever type of thing. Okay.
Yeah, I do. But like last week, I actually did a launch party for one of my new consultants. Sorry, he's gonna go. Doug, his name's Doug. Crazy. Doug, hey, come here. Come here. Come here. My husband's outside grilling, so he sees somebody outside, so he's gonna go nuts.
Well, it's 1,000 wonders I don't have a lamb in here, like yelling at me, telling me he's hungry. If my husband hadn't just fed him, you'd be hearing a little baby lamb going all over the place.
Funny.
So you're all good.
This one he loves to be out. If you're outside, he thinks he's supposed to be out there, and he loves to sit on the back porch with my husband when he's grilling. And so he brought him in because he was wandering too much, but now he's like ready to go back out. But anyway, what I was getting to was I had a new consultant on my team. She actually joined on December 31st. But like right after, she got really sick, like couldn't hardly function sick, you know. And so we weren't able to do her launch party until last week, which is not ideal, but we still did one, so I'm happy with that. But she lives here locally, so she actually just came over to my house and we did her live party together. And so she was able to see, you know, how to do that, and that honestly helped me with this checklist too, because I began to remember, because because in between posts she was able to ask questions, and I was like, oh my God, I need to remember to do this, tell people this. So check box. And so that really was kind of a tutorial for me. She didn't know that, but it really was. It helped me a lot to be able to do that with her face to face. And so like we started out in my kitchen, and I showed my fridge with my M Design products that I just put in there. And then I have a detached garage with my office upstairs, which I know y'all are saying this is your office space. Well, this is usually where I work, in the kitchen anyway. I hardly ever go upstairs to work. That's where I keep all the stuff. This is where I'll do all the stuff, you know. So anyway, we went up there because I keep my stuff hanging up, and we did the live up there. And so it was a interesting time to be able to do that together. And so she just kind of stood there with me, and I had her kind of be like Vanna White in a sense. You know, I did most of the talking, which was fine. But she, after we were done, she was like, oh my God, that was really a lot easier than I thought. She was so afraid of going live. And she's 25, y'all, and she's terrified of social media. And I was like, that busted a big myth for me, because I thought for sure, you know, because she's terrified of Facebook Live social media. Like, she's on her phone all the time, TikToking, and she works at a vet, so she TikToks about dogs and stuff all the time, but she's terrified to TikTok about her business. And I just told her while she was here, I was like, first of all, look how easy this was. I said, you're doing this already, but you're just showing dogs on there. How about you show a few bags, so.
Right. Right.
So,
Hey,
but-
how about a dog in a bag? How about
yeah,
that?
I
Does that make you feel
know.
better?
I know. We got a whole pet line. How about show that? Because she's got a lot of
Right.
contacts through her vet office, So
Nice.
anyway, so many myths were shattered that night. Let me tell you, it was crazy. So,
Okay,
anyway.
so I have a quickie question. So
Yeah.
just thinking when you mentioned Beat the Box, because Beat the Box is actually I've got a board that is Beat the Box
Okay.
that Gretchen Mann Miller and all of them did, and it's all the messages and all of that. There's only 5 messages. It's really super simple.
Okay.
I am just wondering if we could incorporate part of that with our quick start guide, and literally those simple messages. Is that not basically what we're doing? Is the Beat the Box? Is that very
I
first
have
week?
it.
And
Mine's in there. I have it in there.
Yeah. Danielle has hers in here.
Mhm.
okay, hang on a minute.
It's one of the
Where is
first-
that?
It's under the quick start guide first steps.
Have you already is that the one you already shared?
Yes.
Phase 1? Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I knew I'd seen it somewhere. And
Just-
she has a
You
lot
mind
of stuff
sharing
there.
the survey pane?
Yeah, would you mind sharing that survey? Because we had talked a little bit about doing a survey and coupling it with a phone call, but making sure that we followed up with the phone call.
Yep.
And not just sending
Yep.
the survey and being done.
Okay, yeah, that's one of the ones I had actually not even looked at yet, Danielle. So there it is, and the Beat the Box. That's fantastic. So that's really good. And look at that one.
I don't do a prize or a coffee card or anything. If you've seen those, I don't.
Yeah, Alexa does the 1, 2, 3 drinks on me, and
Yeah.
that's the one she had
Yeah,
sent
I
me
wasn't-
where they get like a Dunkin' or a Starbucks little card.
I'm cheap. I'm not doing that. I mean, some people do, but I'm not doing that. But yeah, I'm just doing.
I think so many people are motivated by stuff sometimes.
Yeah.
But I'm not. And so like I do like random gifts sometimes during the year, but I try not to do so many things, in that
I
sense. That's
forget
just
it,
me.
too. I forget.
Yeah.
I
Well,
forget to
mean,
give them their things, so I don't need to fail at anything either.
Right. I know. I'm trying to be consistent and I don't want to be the one who doesn't follow through. And so it's so much easier not to follow through if I don't promise anything.
Right.
So
You do have a point there.
and I like even when I do have a giveaway, like I do a Stomp Your Zero and then I send like a catalog packet, but it's very simple, and then I just recently sent out to everybody who's not qualified about a party packet if they need one, and they have to reply back and ask for it if they want it, and so we kind of go from there. But these are people who haven't been qualified ever, and that's a long list sometimes, which is really sad. And this is my whole lineage, not just my Gen Zero. So, and then I reached out to my directors, of course, and told them, that was happening and that I would let them know who on their team asked for one. So then they can follow up with the person, who needed that. So,
Just
and
got another recruit sign up while we've been
Yeah.
talking.
that's awesome.
Yay!
It was one that
Well,
was
I got-
happening tomorrow, and she was like, "I can do it now." She's just did
Yeah.
it.
Awesome.
I haven't
Well,
I
I've
have
got
one I hope
one.
is going to tonight too. I'm
I've
waiting
got
on her right
2.
now to reply back. So, and then I have
I've-
one
I've
who
got-
said she can't do it till March 1st. I'm like, that's fine. I need
I got-
March leads too, so I'm good with that.
That's it.
I
Well,
have
that's what
one
I'm
I've been
sitting here
talking
watching.
to all day, and she's asking awesome questions too. And she said, "I'm sharing with my friend because I think she's gonna sign up too." And I'm like, "Well, that's perfect. Come on, get going on it." But I mean, she's really apprehensive because she's done Scentsy, and she's like, and I built a team, but we never really had good sales. And she's like, and then I tried Norwex and it didn't go anywhere. And I'm like, well, we're a little different than both those companies. And you're going to have me. And we have some of the best coaching in the business. So I'm trying to get her.
Yes.
To-
Yeah, and
have
can you
confidence.
imagine? Can you imagine to be able to make any money? How many Scentsy bars you would have to sell? The actual volume of
Well-
Scentsy bars that you have to sell to make
That's
any
how I
money
felt
on
about
that?
LuLaRoe. The volume of leggings you had to have in order to.
Oh,
So one of my
Right?
girls,
Yeah.
I have several girls in my Hostess of the Month club that sell Scentsy. So I have to really spread around my orders because I want to support all of them.
Mhm.
But I think I have last count, I think I had 4 out of 30, and they're all Scentsy girls because I'm like 10 minutes from Scentsy home office, right?
Oh, wow.
One girl posted a Tuck It Away bin, the big one, and she posted it in my VIP group, and then she did it as a guessing game in her VIP group. She put 156 of those bars in the Tuck It Away bin and took a picture of it, and I'm like,
Wow.
that's ridiculous. But she would probably say the same thing about all my bags, so you know.
Yeah, I got a crap ton of bags. I know that. So my thing about the whole office is somewhere else, but I do all my work in the kitchen. It's kind of like that for me too. But mine is because for some reason I can't get internet in my office, and so now I'm having to have a actual line, not a wireless thing run to my office. So I have zero internet in my great office out there. So I have to do everything in my kitchen. So, but
Yeah.
if you looked at in my office, you'd be like, oh my.
Well, yeah, when Jonee decided not to do this anymore, she's like, come out to my office. And I left with a whole truck full of stuff from her office, like all her Happy Meal ideas that we bought together and never did. And all of like her themed 31 stuff. She had cubes that had the 31 logo on it. She's like, I can't use any of this.
Yeah.
So I have it all now, but I'm in 900 square feet. So it's all in my garage because I can't do anything with it right now.
I understand that. Totally get that. Because my house is tiny too. So we live in a small house. So I had to have a separate office or else my husband was going to divorce me with all the stuff that was in here.
Well,
So
we
Kane,
have a detached garage that was built because of 31, you know, like
I get that.
we bought our house from my husband's mother because they built it when he was in 10th grade. Well, it doesn't really look like it used to. Obviously, we've renovated a few places, but we did build a detached garage, and my office is over the top, but of course his boat's in the bottom because that's the most important part, you know. So we always laugh about it. So it's the garage that 31 built, you know. So
hey, there you go.
Yeah.
So Kane, before I forget to ask, where are you from?
I live in Alabama.
Okay, so you're close to me then. We're good. I knew I heard some good southern
Where are you?
southern in there. I'm in Mississippi. I'm in just outside of Tupelo.
Okay. Yeah, I live in Athens, Alabama, which is north near
Ooh.
Huntsville, like where all of our country
exactly.
defense is, you know. So
I know exactly where you are, my sweetheart. I know exactly where you are. We just passed through there on the way from Kentucky. Just a couple of days ago. So we just
so
swung
you saw
right
the
past
rocket on 65.
Yes, the one that's about to get moved.
Yeah, that's a huge controversy right now. So
yeah,
because it's been there forever. So yeah. Oh, now I got some more noise coming in. I'm on mute again.
Okay, good deal.
All right, I'm gonna go because I have an online bingo starting in about 10 minutes.
Call to actions.
Okay.
Otherwise, yes.
Yes, we need call to actions. So we really, I think, need to create the board. Create that 100%. First 30-day board. Yep. And we can share with each other what we're creating, or maybe just create or just maybe share with each other the videos and the graphics, and then one person create the board with it and share it with everybody.
True story. I think it might be a great idea for us to create it as a skeleton. And then since we now know how to copy it and move it to our own board, then we customize it to ourselves with our own pictures or whatever else, any graphics that are generic, we can obviously share, but creating it as, fairly generic to begin with. And I think it's possible that we could each take a portion of it, because since we're in the sophomore thing, because Danielle has already done the quick start freshman part of it. So we could divide out the sophomore part and say, hey, I'm going to do, this, and this. There's, what do we say, 13, 14 things on here?
I'm up to 18 now.
As I say, we added a couple more.
Yeah, I'm up to 18 because we added boards at the beginning, gift cards, email list into the contacts, engagement post, and the overwhelmed video, and Justin prints.
My overwhelmed video is in my party too. So you might not need it in here. You might want to do what you want, but mine's within the party.
See, I like it being within the party. So I think I like that there.
Okay. That's fine. But so then that puts us at 17
Well, we're
themes.
doing good because we wanted 20. That was kind of, I was hoping the quick start would be done in 10 days. And then you had another 20 tasks. Even if they're done earlier, then you're spreading it out a little bit more.
Well,
Or-
and we will want to have some of those posts will be more than one day, because the engagement
Yes.
post, that's probably going to be spread
Yep.
over like 1 week, and then another week or 10 days. We're like, okay, go and create some, or go and schedule some more engagement posts. And same thing with the Justin prints too, right?
Yes.
Those are going to take more days
Yes.
too.
Yep.
So, okay, so days, the freshman list is, which is also called Quick Start, is days 1 through 10. Sophomore
That's
list
what
is
I'm kind of
days.
guesstimating it. I mean, that's,
Okay.
there might be less, right?
Well,
but we're just trying to say like,
right.
I'm just trying to average it. I feel like by the time you get through the things in the first few days, then it depends on how long you party with pre-posts and the actual party and after posts.
Right.
No, it's
I'm
just
just
good.
trying to give myself a list of, hey, you know, here it is, day 11. I need to do so and so with my new girl, Amy, or whatever. So, yeah, sophomore list would be possibly like 11 through 30. And then day 31, rest and celebrate their accomplishments for the last 30 days. And then
Yep.
start again on, which would technically be day 32. So, junior list, what I do with that would be day 32 through 60, right?
Yep. Should we read a chapter
six-
this time too?
Yeah, we
I think
didn't do it this time.
I think 5 was longer. It is.
5 is pretty long. It's pretty
Let's
long.
do chapter 5 plus wrap up your quick start and or 30-day. And if you didn't go live on your personal profile, and if you didn't message the
Oh,
team,
So
I
do we
missed
want
that.
to divide
I
up
didn't have
these
action steps
activities?
from last time.
Do we want to divide up these activities, or do we want to just over in the group chat say, hey, I found something good for navigating the back office. I'll put together that one.
might work. That might work. Just as
Yeah.
we work on them, grab them and send them. That might be a good idea rather than dividing them.
Well,
Yeah.
and then somebody can also, it also allows us to get everybody else involved, because we can go through and like I can post, or Lori, you can post your recap, or I can post mine. Like, this is a list of the things we want to put in our next 20 days. Everybody grab one and make like a little board for it, and we can share it that way and have it ready. And we can import
Yes.
them and put them all together.
I think if we have the recap in there, then everybody can just start grabbing and doing some. That would be perfect.
Okay, so that'll be one of our action steps. And then reading chapter 5 is an action step.
Yep.
And
And if
then
do any other, if you didn't do last week's.
yes. And
What
then
was last week's? Because I didn't get to come last week, so I missed it.
Last
3 and
week
4.
we're trying to go live on our personal profile. We're trying something different.
Okay,
'Cause-
going live as in with what? Just for funsies, or
We talk about
with
all kinds of different things. You do whatever you want to do, but just trying to start getting outside of the box of just sticking in our customer group, basically, like sending them to our customer group if you want, if that's something you're talking about. But it can be fun, it can be products, it can be neither, like whatever you want to do. But we're just trying to get like, we need to do reels, we need to go live. Like, we're just trying to kind of do all the things. And I was reading, it is in fact true. I wouldn't have said it if it wasn't. I don't know if you guys saw it on a post that I think I commented on the leader group. If your personal profile is up in algorithms, you go up in algorithms and when you talk in other groups.
I did see you post that.
I did
Yeah.
find an article on that is in fact true. So all the more reason you should be working on your personal, like a lot of us were just talking about how our personal profile, we get more interaction these days than we do the groups. Like, nobody's seeing the groups. So either way, we were just kind of like, we don't want to be sell. Like, we're still not trying to do that. You got to stick to the 80-20 rule, but you just got to do stuff. We were talking about teaching, Lori, like do a charcuterie on freaking live. Like, seriously, like you know what I mean? Like, you can teach something, you can show something, you give them value. You got to do whatever you do. Like, we were hyping Nicole that like, she's got great face stuff, you know, like you don't have to sell the makeup, but just still show people that they want to watch you. Like, here's what I did. I bought it on Amazon. Go get it. Here, it's from Kmart. Like, Kmart doesn't even exist, but.
Oh, you just dated yourself good on that one. Nice. I like it.
Shit. If I say Kmart.
I'll have to tell you my story about the Kmart Blue Light Special one of these days. That is not for this current moment.
So anyways, like you guys know, like I did the dancing reel. Like I'm probably gonna keep rolling with that for a little bit, right? Like just kind of being dancing, whatever you want to do. So that was one homework. The other homework was to voice record each person on our team and meet them where they're at. So like use their name. This is individual to them. Like we were all talking about how we're just getting crickets, but like do it and tell where you're at, be authentic, right? That like you two have been whatever in the past few months, blah, 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 but like try to get them to actually talk to you basically. Because we talked about like follow up still after that, right? Like hopefully they feel a little bit guilty if they don't listen to your voice recording. Is kind of what we were going for.
I totally
Okay.
said him. So I sent him all the voice message and then I only heard back from 3 or 4 out of my 24. And so the next message I sent him was a week later, right? And I was like, oh, by the way, did my voice message come through?
Yes. Right.
And then like getting that just like that little bit of guilt in there. And they're like, oh yeah, I listened to it. I'm like, so what'd you think? Like, come on, let's start a conversation.
But yes. Those three. Was there something else, Rachel? I'm forgetting that we had as homework last week.
Our other thing was to come up with our first 30 days, which we weren't able to do. So we finished today. But I think that we have probably plenty of action steps now between making up for last week and then doing this week.
Yeah, we're good still. It's all good. Oh my God, I got the kids coming in and they worked out, and so they're.
Yeah, and I have my Zoom starting in 5 minutes.
Yes, go.
Ooh, go do your Zoom. Go. Okay.
Bye.
Love you guys. This